Hello guys, welcome everyone to this new video with the concept of cost of capital. I hope that you're all understanding the previous videos very well. So I request all to subscribe to this channel and help us to improve further. First of all, let's see what is the meaning of cost of capital. Cost of capital is nothing but the annual payments made to the shareholders or creditorship securities. It is nothing but the dividend that is paid to equity shareholders and preference shareholders and the interest that is paid on debentures, bonds or term loans, etc. It is nothing but the total payment made by the company towards shareholders or creditorship securities. We got to know the meaning of cost of capital. Now let's see the components of cost of capital. There are three important components of cost of capital. They are cost of equity, cost of preference share and cost of debt. We'll be discussing about all these three components now. In the components of cost of capital, the first one it is cost of equity. Cost of equity is nothing but the expenses or the cost incurred by an organization in raising equity share capital from the public. So there are two important methods of calculating cost of equity. They are dividend yield model or dividend yield method. The second one it is dividend growth method. The formula for dividend yield method it is cost of equity is equal to D divided by P into 100. D is nothing but dividend and P is the market price of the equity share capital. Next, under dividend growth model, the formula is slightly changed. It is cost of equity is equal to dividend divided by market price into 100 plus the growth rate of the organization. The next component in cost of capital is cost of preference shares. Cost of preference share is nothing but the expenses or the cost incurred by the organization in procuring preference share capital from the public. There are two types of preference share capitals. You should have learnt about this. The first one it is irredeemable preference shares. The second one it is redeemable preference shares. Irredeemable preference share is nothing but it doesn't have a maturity date for repayment, whereas a redeemable preference share has a particular maturity date on which they have to be repaid to the general public. The formula for the calculation under irredeemable preference share it is cost of preference share capital is equal to D divided by P into 100. D is nothing but dividend and P is market price. When it comes to redeemable preference shares, the formula is slightly changed and you have to concentrate over here. It is D plus R minus P divided by N, entire thing divided by R plus P divided by 2 into 100, where D is a dividend, R it is a redemption value, P it is market price, N it is number of years, R it is again redemption value, P it is market price divided by 2 into 100. The last component in cost of capital it is cost of debt. Cost of debt is nothing but the expenses incurred by the organization in raising long-term loans, secured loans, debentures or bonds, etc. There are two categories under cost of debt. They are irredeemable debt without a maturity date and redeemable debt with a particular maturity date. So the formula for the calculation of irredeemable debt it is KD is equal to interest into 1 minus T divided by P into 100. That is the formula for irredeemable debt, and for redeemable debt the formula will be interest into 1 minus T plus R minus P divided by N, the entire thing divided by R plus P divided by 2 into 100. So here R it is redemption value and P it is market price and N it is number of years. I hope that you guys got a brief knowledge about components of cost of capital. Now let's look into weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital is nothing but the average cost of equity plus cost of preference share plus cost of long-term debts. It is nothing but average of all the three components of cost of capital. So you have studied the three components of cost of capital. So we are taking the average of these three to arrive at weighted average cost of capital. The formula is K is equal to, ESC is not escape key, it is equity share capital into cost of equity plus preference share capital into cost of preference share plus debentures into cost of debentures divided by equity share capital plus preference share capital plus debentures into 100. Now let's discuss how the various components of cost of capital is calculated along with weighted average cost of capital. Here is an illustration given to you. It's a balance sheet of a company where equity 12% debentures 18% term loan is given and the amount is 600, 400, 500 and the total is 2500. So now you have to determine the weighted average cost of capital of the company if it had paid a dividend of 25% per annum. So this is the first case. The second case here it is, what is the difference it will make if the market price, that is 100, is changed to 150 rupees? And also the third scenario is determine the effect of income tax on the cost of capital. Before calculating the cost of capital, you have to calculate the cost of each component. That is, there are three components here: cost of equity, cost of debentures and cost of term loan. In order to understand and find a solution easily, the first thing you have to do is write down the question, without which it will be difficult for you guys to proceed further. I'll assume that you have written down the question and will proceed with the solution part. In the solution part, the question is divided into two categories, that is part 1 and part 2, based on the third condition given in the question. The third condition says that determine the effect of income tax on the cost of capital under both the premises. So the first part will be when income tax is not considered and the second part will be when income tax is considered. Now, using the second condition given in the question, that is, what difference will it make if the current price of 100 per share is 150? Based on this condition, you have to subdivide part 1 into subsection 1. So that is when your P is 100. So this is the first step you will be doing. When your P is 100, you'll be finding out cost of equity. So in this cost of equity, it is a dividend yield method. Growth information is not given to you guys. So you'll use the formula cost of equity is equal to D divided by P into 100. So first we'll write down this formula. Next we'll see P is 100. We have taken this 100. Next D, it is given in first condition as 25%. So 25% of 100, it will be 25. So we'll substitute using the formula 25 divided by 100 into 100, we get 25%. That is cost of equity is done. Next, cost of debentures. We'll use the formula cost of debenture is equal to interest into 1 minus T divided by P into 100. So here your cost of debenture, it is given in the question as 12%. It is given in the question as 12% debentures. So that 12% will be written here. 1 minus, here we are not taking tax. So it will be 0 divided by 100 into 100. We get 12% as it is. Next, cost of term loan. The same formula will be used. I into 1 minus T divided by P into 100. So it is 18% term loan given in the question. It will be 18 into 1 minus 0. 0 is nothing but your tax rate divided by 100 into 100. You get 18%. That's how you find out cost of equity, cost of debentures and cost of term loans. Once you complete finding the cost of equity, debentures and term loans, the next step is to find out the weighted average cost of capital. To find out weighted average cost of capital, the formula is equity share capital into cost of equity plus debentures into cost of debentures plus term loan into cost of term loans divided by equity share capital plus preference share capital plus debentures into 100. Let's substitute using this formula. 600 is given in the question for equity share capital into 25%. 400 is given in the question for debentures into 12%. We have calculated that 1500 into 18%. We have calculated this divided by 600 plus 400 plus 1500 into 100. So next, if you do 600 into 25%, you get 150. If you do 400 into 12%, you get 48. If you calculate 1500 into 18%, you get 270. The total of this 600, 400, 1500, it is 2500 into 100. Next, if you add these three, you get 468 divided by 2500 into 100. If you do this calculation, you get 18.72%, the weighted average cost of capital when your P is 100. Next, we'll move to subsection 2 under part 1, that is when your P is 150. So to find out cost of equity when P is 150, so it is dividend divided by P into 100. So here your dividend is always on the face value. It will be not calculated on the market value. So it remains as 25 divided by 150 into 100 is equal to 16.67%. Okay. So this is how the cost of equity for 150 P value is calculated. Next, cost of debentures. I forgot to mention one thing previously. So let me recap. When it is a debenture, you have to identify whether it is a redeemable debenture or irredeemable debenture. In this case, the date of maturity is not given, hence we consider it as irredeemable debenture. So we'll be using the formula of irredeemable debentures, that is KD is equal to interest into 1 minus T divided by P into 100. So we have done this calculation. This cost of debentures and cost of term loan remains the same. There will be no changes. It will be 12% and 18% as we have done previously. Once you finish finding the cost of equity, cost of debenture and cost of term loan under when your P is 150. This P is considered only for equity share capital. Rest all it remains the same as 100. It is assumed to be 100 for debentures and term loans. Only for equity share capital it changes to 150. So you'll be using the formula of weighted average cost of capital and you substitute using that. So 600 into 16.67, this is what we calculated previously. 400 into 12% and 1500 into 18% divided by 600 plus 400 plus 1500. So if you do this calculation, that is 600 into 16.67%, you get 100 plus 400 into 12%, it is 48, and 1500 into 18%, you get 270 divided by 2500 into 100. So if you add these three, that is 100, 48 and 270, you get 418 divided by 2500 into 100, you get 16.72%. That will be your weighted average cost of capital when the P value of equity share it is 150 instead of 100. This is how the calculation is done. We have finished with the part 1. We'll start with the part 2. Part 2 is nothing but calculation when income tax is 40% and it is considered. So here the calculation will be done after taking 40% tax consideration. So under part 2 you have two subsections, that is subsection 1 and subsection 2. We'll deal with subsection 1 first, where your market price is 100. When the market price of equity share is 100, what will be the cost of capital or weighted average cost of capital? So first we'll find out cost of equity. Cost of equity remains the same. We have done this calculation previously. When P is 100 or market price is 100, we have done this calculation. It remains the same as 25%. Next, cost of debentures, the formula remains the same. Only the thing is you have to substitute the information in tax part, that is T part. You have to substitute the information. Cost of debenture, it is the interest rate for debenture given in the question, it is 12% into 1 minus 0.4%, that is nothing but your tax rate, divided by 100 into 100. is equal to, it will be 12 into 0.6 divided by 100 into 100, you get 7.2 divided by 100 into 100, you get 7.2 percentage. Same way we'll do it for term loan. Your only value changes over here, it is you have to do tax addition and also your interest changes. So here it is your term loan interest rate, it is 18% into 1 minus 0.4, that is your tax, divided by 100 into 100, you get 18 into 0.6 divided by 100. When you do this 18 into 0.6, you get 10.08, divided by 100 into 100, you get 10.08. So this is the calculation done when your P is 100 and after considering the tax percentage. Previously, taking into consideration the tax rate, you have calculated the cost of equity, debentures and term loans. So now let's find out the weighted average cost of capital. The formula still remains the same. There will be no changes with the formula. We'll substitute the information. 600 into 25%, we have calculated. 400 into 7.2%, we have calculated this after taking the tax consideration. Next it is 1500 into 10.8%, the tax rate is considered over here, divided by 600 plus 400 into plus 1500. Next it is, if you do this 600 into 25%, you get 150 plus 400 into 7.2%, you get 28.8. 1500 into 10.8%, you get 162. If you make the total of these three, you get 340.8, divided by 2500 into 100, you get 13.63% as the weighted average cost of capital when tax is considered and your P value is 100. We'll move on to the last part, that is subsection 2, that is when your market price is 150 and also the tax rate is considered. Cost of equity, we have already calculated cost of equity, that will be 16.67%. I'll not waste much of the time because you're aware of this calculation. Same way with cost of debentures, we have already done the calculation using the tax rate. It comes to 7.2%. Same thing is applicable for term loans. It comes to 10.8%. Now we'll substitute these information in weighted average cost of capital formula. Now let's substitute the information. 600 into 16.67% we have calculated, plus 400 into 7.2% plus 1500 into 10.8% divided by 600 plus 400 plus 1500 into 100. If you do this calculation, you get 100 plus 28.8 plus 162. If you make the total of these three, you get 290.8 divided by 2500 into 100, you get 11.63%. It is the weighted average cost of capital when your P value of equity share it is 150 and tax rate of 40% is considered for debentures and term loans. Let's have a quick recap. There are three components of cost of capital. They are cost of equity, cost of preference share and cost of debt. Under cost of equity, there are two types of model, that is dividend yield and dividend growth. When you do the calculation of cost of capital, you have to see which method is followed by the organization, whether it is dividend yield or dividend growth, because the formula changes over there. Same thing is applicable for preference share and debentures or term loans. You have to see whether it is irredeemable or redeemable. If it is redeemable, the formula is different, and if it is irredeemable, the formula is different. And other thing to remind is, or remember, is tax rate. If in case tax rate is given, you have to consider the tax rate also. Thank you. So if in case you have any questions or any suggestions for the further improvement, you can put it in the comment box. We'll take care of it in the future videos. Thanks for watching.